Hello, I'm your host, Olivia, and welcome to the Relationship Podcast. Last time we talked about the mysteries of life, and today we're going to talk about failure. So, Einstein once said, "You only fail when you stop trying." And I interpret this as he was saying that even though you don't do something correctly, it doesn't mean you failed if you keep on trying. And you have most likely heard the name Albert Einstein before, the famous scientist. Well, he failed a lot of times. But it just took that one time of doing it correctly. I'm sorry, he did not fail a lot of times. He did things incorrectly. So therefore, he knew multiple ways to do something incorrectly that he knew that wouldn't make it correct. So therefore, when he finally did the thing correct, it was like, wow. All you don't have to do, and he could have a list of what you don't have to do to make it correctly. But it just takes that one time of having it correct that makes the world go, wow. So don't think of doing something incorrectly as a failure, because it's not. You just learn a way of how not to do something. And by doing that, you'll learn potentially what could work and what could not, because it'll let you to think differently, especially on your first attempt, because you thought it was going to go this way, but it doesn't. So that gets your brain thinking. It will start to think more in depth of how maybe part of it worked. So we'll change a piece of it. If it doesn't, then you may go back to square one and change the other part. What I'm trying to say is, don't give up, because one attempt didn't go your way. Majority of a person's lifetime doesn't go their way. But that shouldn't stop you. That shouldn't stop you from pursuing your dreams, your goals, because if it does, then that's a fail, because you'll be thinking of giving up that quote-unquote fail for the rest of your life, because you gave up, because you didn't keep on trying. And by doing that, a lot of people later on in life wish that they would have just kept on going when they knew that it wasn't really a failure until they made it themselves. Yeah. Usually when somebody succeeds, you don't hear about the trials of incorrect things they went through. Instead, you just hear of that one correct thing, just that one trial, that one attempt. But you don't hear, majority of the time, you do not hear what happened before that, or the amount of trials. Like Thomas Edison, 1,000-ish times before he made the light bulb work. And he wasn't the only one doing it, but he was one of few that kept on trying to make the light bulb work. And he has around 1,000-ish ways of how not to make a light bulb work, which comes in handy Because if you know the 1,000 ways, or if you know the ways of not to do something, then you can help someone else who may be struggling because they could be doing something incorrectly. And by having the knowledge of what not to do, you have the knowledge of what to do. Don't always think of something not going your way or not doing something correctly as a bad thing. Think of it as an opportunity, because no matter what you do, you're always learning. It just depends how far do you want to learn. Do you want to learn until you're able to do it? Or you want to learn to where you're not sure of how to quite do it just yet? It's your life, your choice. You get to choose if you want to fail or keep on trying. Alright, so you've read the end of this episode. Once again, I'm your host, Olivia Ritt, and this was the Relationship Podcast. Once again, we have an Instagram and YouTube channel. The Instagram is the.relationship_podcast, and the YouTube channel, The Relationship Podcast. See y'all next time. Bye, y'all.